So, I just finished watching the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre that is on Netflix that just released a couple of days ago at the time of recording this video. I'm a few days behind the hype, but figured I'd watch it for myself, and I don't know how I feel about this one. Now, opening up, we get some screenshots and basically implying that the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre from 1974 was real in this universe and is a documentary. And like we're in this gas station and we see like shirts saying, "Oh, I chainsaw Texas," like the I Heart New York shirts. We get chainsaw corkscrews, just a bunch of chainsaw stuff. Behind the counter, we've got a article in a newspaper hung up about the last survivor of the original one. The girl, her name was Sally, I believe. I don't remember her last name. Doesn't doesn't matter. But the girl who escaped in the back of the truck in the end of the first one of the most iconic shots in horror. They do recreate that in this movie. Spoiler alert. But I'm going to go ahead and come straight out and say this movie is just not good. It is not. The effects, really good. Amazing. The kills, gory, gruesome, brutal. Pretty much everything you can want from a slasher. And a high body count, which is really rare sometimes. But plot-wise, I didn't follow it. Basically, what I got was there's a group of four college-age friends, well, two sisters and a couple, are basically buying this ghost town, Harlow, and auctioning it off to kind of recreate a new living, like a place for people to move to, start fresh. I don't get the point. But then they end up going into this one house that's waving a Confederate flag, and they're like, okay, we got to take that down. But it turns out someone still lives in that house. And it's an older woman who, looking at her walls, looks like she once ran an orphanage of some sort. And there's one big class picture, and there's one face right in the dead center that's got an X over his face. You can't really see it, and of course, that's Leatherface. But, oh, also, time out. Like, back up. We're also told that Sally, from the end of the first movie, the original, has become a Texas Ranger and has been searching for Leatherface ever since. Now, there's already a plot hole. And when we see Sally in the movie, she says, "It's been 50 years I've been looking for him, and I gotta kill him." That would make Leatherface at least 70 years old. But in this movie, he looks 35 tops. I mean, they couldn't have got an older actor. I know the original actor for Leatherface has since passed away, rest his soul. But they could have got any older actor, or even just made him look older, and it would have made a lot more sense. I think one thing I could take away from this movie is that the new Halloween movies, especially bringing back Laurie Strode, people are taking some major inspiration from that because this is exactly the vibe I got. Like in Halloween 2018, Laurie's like, "I've been searching for him for 40 years, and tonight's the night I kill him." That's the exact same plot of this movie. Exact same. Well, side plot. The main plot, there's no point. I mean, there's four people auctioning off houses and stuff, creating this community has nothing to do with anything. One scene in particular that just made me angry. Like, I feel like it was supposed to be funny, but all it did was upset me. Was, okay, this girl named Mel, who I kept wanting to call Annie for some reason because she had really curly hair and all I could think was Annie. But she's running from Leatherface. They end up running onto this bus that brought in all the people trying to auction. It was a bunch of college kids. It's like a party bus. And so they're running through this bus. They get to the back of it. And then all of a sudden, Leatherface comes through this curtain and just stares everybody down. And literally everybody just looks at him and just pulls their phone out and just starts recording him. Doesn't say anything. Like, there is a man wearing someone else's face with a chainsaw right in front of you. And your first thought is, I don't have another phone, so I'm using a remote to these lights. Like, I get people in horror movies make terrible decisions. They're not smart at all. But, I mean, try harder. And there's some really predictable stuff in this movie. I'm not going to spoil the whole thing, but honestly, there's You don't have to watch this. I really want to like this movie. I thought the kills were amazing. The special effects, awesome. The acting, even. Acting's really good. It's just the plot is just not there. And the look for Leatherface. Let me talk about this. I get that the whole point is he's wearing other people's faces and it's going to change. But in this movie, to me, he just looks like the clown from Dead by Daylight. I don't remember his name, but that's all I could see when I look at him.
Hey, real quick, while I'm editing, I also realized I forgot to mention that there's one scene in particular where I actually really appreciate the fact you actually get to see Leatherface cutting off someone's face to wear. Just thought that was actually a pretty fun little detail. Meant to add, forgot to mention it. All right, back to the video.
This is one of those movies where you really want to sympathize with the survivors, whoever's involved in the slasher film. But and you are connected for a second, but then it gets to a point about halfway through where you're just like, just kill them off already. I'm tired of it. Like we keep getting fake out stuff, fake out deaths. Not a lot of jump scares in this movie, which the ones that are in the movie are actually effective. I will give it that. The scares do work, and they're not any fake BS jump scares. Like I said in 30 Days of Fright, in just about every episode, I hate fake jump scares more than anything. Hate real ones too, but when they work, they work. This movie had everything going for it for me. It had some amazing kills, some really good cinematography, good acting, and some amazing camera shots that cannot be recreated. Which, speaking of which, thank you for not trying to recreate the whole upskirt scene from the original, because every Texas Chainsaw movie tried that. Maybe not everyone, but to my knowledge, all the ones I've seen have. But this one did not. It is played out and it's never going to be done right again. So thank you for just leaving that alone. I really want to like this movie. I really do. Leatherface, one of my favorite movie killers, but it's just not good. I wish I could say more. But on that note, if I had to give it a rating, I would say 3 out of 10. Meaning, you could put it on, but like say Halloween Party, just on in the background, it's good enough for that. But if you actually want to have a good movie night, skip this one. Now, if you're a major Texas Chainsaw fan, yeah, give it a shot. You might like it more than I did, but I wish I can give it a higher rating. But this has been actually my first full movie review. So thank you all for watching. See you on the next one. As always, rock on.